Uncharted, the story of Prometheus' journey. The goal of the game satisfies equality 72521, or now Prometheus' need for achieving independence and escaping the city.
So the instructions are must play in present mode. By clicking the begin arrow in the bottom right of the screen, you will find your first riddle. After reading the riddle, advance to the main room by clicking the next arrow. Explore the puzzle room objects via clicking on them, which will open an info card, and in each of these info cards, information or backstory will be presented on the object. Each object is assigned a letter, which will be used to unlock the next room. After clicking through each object, go back to main room. Following the decision of which object is correct, you will click on the arrow on the bottom right to proceed to pick the letter on a separate screen. If chosen correctly, you will be prompted to move on. If chosen incorrectly, you will come across obstacles. You'll be faced with a series of punishments that have been favorited by the World Council of Scholars and escorted back to the puzzle rooms. And then repeat these steps 2 to 5 for the next 2 rooms. And these quotes are about Prometheus' life. So riddle 1 is the knowledge of the events locked away in secret. And here's an extra quote. So the underground is where we take our first setting. So to explore, we'll click on the candle and read the paragraph. So the candle doesn't seem like it would be pertaining to the riddle. So let's click on next. So the broom is assigned K, and it also same thing as the candle. It's an interesting paragraph, but it doesn't seem to pertain to the riddle. And so we click on the book, and the journal. After reading it, it kind of thinks so. You think about having to write in secret, and it was a sin to write to nobody but yourself. So this kind of reminisces about the answer to the riddle. So we go back to the underground. And I'm confident, so pick my answer, and it's E, and that's correct. So we'll go to the next destination.
Alright, so riddle 2 is escape from the dark, escape from confinement. Alright, so we can click on the one on the right. This one doesn't seem like the right answer. It doesn't have anything to do with the riddle. If we click on the blood splatter, this doesn't have anything to do with the riddle either. And finally, the light bulb on the left. This one seems correct because he notes about leaving the society that held him back, and it also triggers his escape, so this sounds like the right answer. So this would be G.
Alright, for our final riddle, a call from ancient times, and there's our extra quote. Let's go next. Alright, we'll start off arrow. It doesn't really seem like it has anything to do with a call from ancient times. Back we have a wolf, beast of the wild. Again, this doesn't really seem like it has much to do with ancient times. And then we have our cottage, and this one definitely seems like it's reminiscent of something from the past, so I'm gonna go with cottage. So I'm now confident with that, I'm gonna select O.
So since we've got all 3 answers correct, this leads to making the final word, which is ego, which up here gives you a note. Congratulations, you have successfully made it out of the city. The letters you've collected to form the word ego, which was the sacred word of the old society Prometheus was confined to. And here's another quote from Prometheus on the end of your journey. And here is a promotional paragraph that talks about advertisement for the game.
The game satisfies the need and desire for independence and self-recognition for Prometheus along with his followers. Prometheus's journey was an enlightened adventure on a goal to find the truth, which he found in said independence and individuality. Uncharted does this by bringing the player through the interactive journey of Prometheus in his escape of the city and realization of principles forgotten in his utopian society. The player recounts the decisions Prometheus made and ends the game in the new society they are now raised in.
Alright, so for Reality is Broken Part 1, starting off, we have our central claim right at the beginning. And that is that gamers have had enough of reality, so it's just going to introduce the claim right away, and you can tell that this is a claim because it's a definite statement, and reading the rest of the article, that is what the rest of the article is entirely based around, is that central claim that's stated right there. Alright, so with the next one, we have a pretty immediate concession and rebuttal, and we know that this is a concession and rebuttal because it has a key statement that directly contradicts the claim. It's conceding to the other side of the argument, which is that they aren't rejecting reality entirely, because they still participate in normal human everyday life activities like, schoolwork and jobs and goals and whatever. But then it provides a rebuttal by saying that they devote more of their time specifically to games. So it's providing a viewpoint of the other argument and then re-contradicting that with the original argument supporting the claim. Moving on again, we have reasoning. This is sort of just explaining the gamer's behavior, saying why they're rejecting reality, and that's saying that gaming is simply more enjoyable than reality. It has more opportunities. And then next we have evidence, and this is just sort of providing statistics to sort of support the claim that this is, a widespread event, that this is really actually, happening, because you have to have evidence to support your claim. So they're handing out a bunch of statistics from each country in different areas around the world to support their claim. Alright, and for the last part of part one, we have more evidence, and this is just sort of, saying averages of how much time is spent, because when you're saying gamers are rejecting reality, you have to say, well, how much time are they spending rejecting reality? How much time are they spending playing games? And then this is just sort of giving averages across different parts of the world for people playing games. And then moving on to part two. A lot of the same here. We're going to start off with another claim with this one, which is the reason that gamers are rejecting reality is because they are bringing us together in ways that reality is not. That would be games. And then moving on from that, we have some evidence here at the bottom. This is sort of giving a history of games to sort of promote the idea that video games are helping gamers to reject reality. It's giving a history of other similar examples when board games did. And that's some evidence from right there, is a historical overview of that. And then down here, we have reasoning, which is reasoning for why board games and games themselves originally became popular, which sort of helps us get a deeper understanding of the gaming genre itself, and helps us understand why gamers would reject reality. And that's going to be all that we have for Reality is Broken.